fire series. We're going to be looking at solar fires today and how to make fire from the sun. We got several things that we're going to show here. We're going to actually make fire from one. When you look at the tinder section, you'll see that matchless fires are done in sections, and we're going to actually be firing up our stage 1 stuff. We'll actually take that over to a stage 2 and blow it into a flame here. We're going to try anyways. But as a boy, you know, almost everybody remembers magnifying glasses. And as a boy, every boy I think has used the sun and run this on their hand and go, ooh, that hurts, you know. And so basically what the magnifying lens does is it gathers all of that amount of sun, and then it bends that light, and there's a point at which all of the spots is going to come down to a focal point. That's on my hand right now. In that focal point, all of that energy comes together, and it gets hot. And we can use that to actually light different types of things. One of my favorite things to use for solar is the Chega, which we'll go ahead and use a piece of this. Kind of set that one out there and see if we can get this zoomed in here. And it just takes that much. You see the smoke? To get that to going. And then that has to grow a bit, and then we take that, and that's our first stage. We take that into a second stage, a tinder bundle. Once this gets hotter, once it grows, then we try and blow that into a flame. You can usually get flame from the solar in 2 stages. And so, magnifying lens, pretty handy, and a couple sources of magnifying lenses. If you're out in a survival situation, it's pretty hard just to find one. But binoculars, the outer lens is usually magnifying. Camera lenses will have a magnifying lens in them. And that works pretty good. One that people don't know about too much is reading glasses. Reading glasses have that same magnification type thing that the magnifying lenses do. This pair of glasses right here I actually got fire with quite a few years ago, so I saved it just to show. But you can do the same thing with them as you do with the magnifying glass. These are all called refraction in that it bends the light. And one thing that a lot of people don't know is that you can use water in a bag. And you can, sometimes this one you have to be really patient with. It takes quite a bit of time to get it, but we'll actually see if we can zoom in here and see how I can get some bright spots here. We've got to change this a bit sometimes. I don't know if you can see that, but that's getting warm on my hand. And if you play with the shape of this, and then you actually can get it in there, and you can get Chega to start up with just water in the bag. One other thing you can do in the wintertime is you can, if you can find some ice that is quite clear, you don't want it full of the bubbles, because then it doesn't work as well. There's 2 drawbacks in the wintertime. One is it's really cold. The second one is the sun is not very strong in the wintertime. But you can make them about this size, and this will work. And what you can do is you can take a piece of ice and you can shape it with your knife, so that it's rounded like this and flat on one side and rounded on the other side. And then when you get it shaped, take your hand and kind of run your hand over it and melt that ice slightly, and it'll make it all clear. And there have been guys, I haven't played with it myself yet, but there are guys that have actually gotten fire out of a piece of ice that they've shaped like that into a magnifying lens. So ice works pretty good. Now the sun isn't very strong, and so the bigger you make it, the better you are. And so keep that in mind. That's another way of doing it. Another thing that you can use is, this is all refraction. We have things that are reflective. And this is a little piece here. This is, you can get from sundancesolar.com, and it's a solar fire starter. And this does similar to that, only it reflects. All of this surface will reflect the sun right back to those two little peaks right there. And so when you take a piece that you want to try and fire it up, you get it so that it sits right between those peaks. I have to break this down just slightly. And not sitting between my peaks. A lot of times what will happen when you get this focused is you'll be looking at this, and the sun is going to be glaring you in the eye at the same time. So see, it doesn't take much. You see the smoke there. It doesn't take much to get that going. And then that would have to grow, and then you'd stick it into a tinder bundle, and you can get that to actually go into flame. Just set that there and let that go. These are pretty handy. This is a good sized surface here. Gathered a lot of sunlight, and will actually go ahead and kindle quite a bit of stuff. So that's growing now. When you're in a survival situation, you don't know how, we can't always say how you got there. You know, you may be in a car that broke down and so you're out there. You may be in a plane crash. You may be different types of things. The ladies may have one of these in their makeup case. And this is a mirror that's actually curved, and so it magnifies. And I have started quite a few fires with this one. I leave it in the package, and if they have one, you can actually use that to get fire going. And the focal point of this one is out here a little bit. I gotta find it here, and then we'll come on in here, just like that. See, I got that one started. And then we let that grow, and we can put it into a second stage and get that into a fire as well. So, another handy little thing, there are all kinds of ways that you can do solar fires. And so one of the ways I want to show you, most survival situations are either day hikers or hunters that get lost. And they may have a flashlight with them. Chances are they probably would. And if they have one of these older kind that has the lens in it, that's what this is. This is a really handy way of using your flashlight to actually make a fire. And what we'll do is I'll actually try and bring this one all the way to flame. And you never guarantee a matchless fire. I want you to notice something. We got some clouds coming up here. I want you to notice that light bulb there. I'll just zoom in on that. Right there where that wire is that gets hot and makes the light, that is the sweet spot on this thing. That's the way they've engineered it. And so you want your tinder to sit right there. That's where you want your tinder to sit. Right where that bulb is, right where that wire is the best spot. And then I usually use these rings here to help you focus. And so I'll draw those rings down in and get that focus on that spot. And we got a little bit of cloud here, so this thing isn't as big as some of these others. But it looks steep too if we can get her to go, and then have to play a little bit more. Now, you can cut a piece, you can stick it up the bottom and have it sit in there, and that's actually perfect. But if you don't have that, you can always drop them in there. And that one probably isn't sitting high enough. We'll see what we can get. Draw that down there. Let me try the other piece here. A little bit bigger. Gotta get it set just right. See, it's tipped a little bit. That one might work. See, the power of our sun right now is weakened by quite a bit with that cloud up there. I'll get this set. There we go. See how we got that started? Now what we have to do is let this grow a bit. When this whole end here gets really hot, as you can see, that's starting to build. And what we'll do is we'll put it into a tinder bundle, and we'll use the jute here, go over to our tinder bundle section, our tinder section, to be able to see what we do with this. And we'll actually see if we can get flame off second stage here. It's starting to get warm on my fingers, so spread this out a little bit. Put that in there. Okay, we're starting to get smoke. We got fire from the sun. And then what we do is we'd have our other stuff prepared and ready to go. And we'd put that in there, build our fire from there. So that's our solar fire section. And that'll give you ideas. You can do more than just this, but these are some of my favorites. So go home, practice.